Hi everyone, how we doing today? My name is Teresa. Welcome to Teckjourney. This is a space where we have a conversation about confidence, clarity, about this world that is changing, especially with technology and AI. This is not a space about where we're overly technical or expert. We're just helping each other learn as we navigate this life one step at a time. And I hope you will be able to learn about my journey as I learn about yours too. So, let's get started. So today's topic is about somebody asked me, how am I repositioning myself, my career? How am I doing it? How am I repositioning myself? And I remember like a story years ago when I was in grad school. My professor told us a story one day. He was like, unfortunately, your generation will be changing careers so much before you retire. Gonna be the days when you just gonna be at one place and you retire in that company because it's not gonna happen for your generation. As of that time, I was like, I just he said it. I just took it and tucked this somewhere in my mind. I never revisited it or thought about it until years now down the line. And why do I say that? Because the world that we live in is evolving. It's changing drastically. It's changing rapidly. This is not even a case of, oh, it doesn't affect me, oh, it's not my industry, or that, or this. No. This is changing every day for everybody. And the only way to stay ahead of the curve is to change with it. So let's get started. What's the first thing that I did? For me, what I did was I sat down and I became real with myself. And what do I mean by that? That is sitting down and telling yourself the truth about your strengths and weaknesses. I did that. I told myself the truth about my strengths and my weaknesses. I wasn't sugarcoating anything. I wasn't trying to fit into anybody's shoes. I just sat down and said, this is what I know and this is what I don't know. What do I know that, okay, somebody can say, oh, okay, tell me about this. I was like, this is what I know. And I was real with myself because the hardest thing we can do is telling ourselves the truth. But you need that in this situation. You need to tell yourself the truth. What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? You need to tell yourself that. That's number one. Number two, you have to figure out, what is your um you have to figure out what is happening in my industry. What is the thing that is changing in my industry? I remember one video Gary Vee did. He was saying where some people were still hoping that AI will not affect their industry. Come closer. That's not going to happen, unfortunately. Because for every industry, technology, AI, automation, robotics, in one way or the other, is going to step into it. So we cannot be so nonchalant or, and feel like it's not going to happen. No, it will happen. So we have to learn to understand what is happening in our industry. How is that changing? With technology, like I mentioned earlier, with AI, in any way, shape, or form. There's no time to be like, oh no, it's not happening. No, it is happening. So, number two thing is to figure out what change is happening in my industry and how can I reposition myself to be ahead of that curve. That's number two. Number three is you have to identify your unfair advantage. I cannot stress this enough. See, everything that we know in this life, everything that you have done, work, personal, career, anything, name it, any experience you have passed through is a lesson. And that is your unfair advantage. Everything you have ever done, your work, nobody can take that away from you. That is your unfair advantage, and you need to utilize that to your own um, best way. So you have to figure out what do you know that nobody else knows. What are my experiences? What are the lessons I have learned throughout the course of my career that I can now utilize, I can now tap into to reposition myself for my career. You have to decide and find out what that is. That is how you will know and be able to leverage it for the future. Because for everything that we are learning, we have to build it on what we already know. No knowledge is a waste, nothing is wasted. Even the tiniest thing that you think is not important, it is very important. Now, number four on that list is decide on what you want to learn. What is that? Is it something new, or are you going to just amplify on what you already know? Deepening your skills, repositioning yourself to be better. Are you going to learn something new or not? Based off of what you've already done from one, two, three, how are you now going to bring that information to the next level? And that is very important because when you decide, okay, this is what I want to learn, then you that will help you know where you will channel your energy, which is the last point that I have. See, in the world that we live in, a lot is being thrown at us from every angle. Social media, you know, podcasts, name it, everything seeks our attention. And that can be very overwhelming. So, this last point is be intentional about how you want to learn, what do you want to learn, and be very intentional about it. I've been there. I remember when I started learning about AI, I was learning everything you can think about. I was learning. Image generation, call me. This, call me. Avatar, call me. I was learning everything. What they call it? Um, what they call it? Building, coding. I was there. I was trying to learn everything because I felt like, oh, okay, I should do this, I should do that. But you have to be very intentional. At the end of the day, you get overwhelmed. You have to be very intentional about what you want to learn and which part you want to choose to learn it. That is very important because that will save you a whole bunch of stress and headache and overwhelm from trying to grasp from every angle. So be intentional about the parts you're choosing to learn, what you want to learn new or enhance. That is my final point for today. I don't want to overwhelm everybody. There's other things, but for now, that is the 5 points, and I hope that this will help you a little bit have a clearer way to reposition yourself, whether it's in your career or in your business. This will help you figure a way to move forward. And then from there, we can build off of that. And I hope this helps you today. And I hope to see you next time. Thank you for stopping by on my channel, and be kind to yourself. Know that we are all learning. It's one day at a time. You take that step forward, and I'll see you next time. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye.